Hi, I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll try to explain how to create these really cool bouncing boxes. And they're pretty slow at the moment because the screencast is on, but they're actually pretty fast. So as you can see, the boxes are bouncing off of the edges of the screen over here. And they all have different colors, so we'll try to create boxes like that. So at first I have a pretty basic HTML file and I have a canvas property inside of it. So the canvas is like a piece of paper on which I can draw. So in order to know how to draw whatever I want to draw, the canvas needs to have different properties. So for example, where I want to position a certain object, or the color of the object, the size of it, and so on. So as you can see, all my boxes have different colors. They have the same size and they're distributed um, all over the canvas at first. So here in my script tags, I have a canvas variable, which is going to be the same canvas on the HTML file as I have the ID canvas here. And it is going to have a two-dimensional context, which means everything we draw basically is going to be in 2 dimensions. So here I'm going to have a points array, which is going to include all the properties for the boxes. So their height, their width, and so on. And here I am going to have a colors array, which is going to just have a bunch of colors. So here my for loop is my actual function, which is going to push my objects inside my points array. So each and every single one of those objects is going to include the position of the box, the height and the width, and all my boxes have the same size, and the XD and YD properties, which are going to equal 1. So every single time my box is going to move by 1x and 1y, basically. And here in my x and y properties, I have a math random function which is going to distribute the boxes all over the canvas, basically. So, concerning my XD and YD properties, they are going to flip every single time the box touches, let's say, the edge of the canvas, and we're going to see how that works. So over here, each of the objects that I have in my points array is going to have the color mentioned in my colors array, and they're just going to have the same indexes. That's pretty understandable. And let's go on to our draw function. So in our draw function, at first we're going to remove everything we have on the canvas. So that is going to help our animation be more real, let's say, since if we don't clear the canvas, we're just going to have a bunch of boxes all over it. So the clear rect function is just going to delete everything starting from the 0, 0 coordinates, so from the very edge, from the very beginning of the canvas, to the whole width and the whole height of the canvas. So it's basically going to clear a rectangle shape all over the canvas. So after that, for each of the points in my points array, and if you remember, those were the objects with the properties of the boxes. So each of those is going to be called a point, let's say. So it is going to take, our canvas is going to take the color of that certain point. So at first it is going to be green, then blue, then purple, and so on. So after it takes the color, it is going to draw a filled rectangle with the position of x and y of the certain object and with the width and height of the certain object. And they're all the same, so I could just write 50, 50 over here, but it doesn't really matter. So, in the case of the point x, which is the position, being less than 0, that means that if the box goes over the left edge, let's say, of the canvas, or if the box goes over the right edge of the canvas, we are just going to multiply our xd by -1. So what that's going to do is that is going to flip the it is going to flip the direction in which the box is going. So here we have the same thing. If the y is less than 0 and if the y is more than the height of the canvas, meaning if it goes beyond the canvas or it goes below the canvas, it is just going to flip the yd, which is going to change the direction of the box. And after that, we're just going to add the xd and yd to the x and y properties of our certain object, of our certain box. So that is what is going to help our boxes move. So they're just going to move by one x or one y at a time. So here I have an animate function which calls the draw function. But here there's a set timeout global function which takes two arguments, one of which is the animate function itself, and 5. So what this 5 does, it waits for 5 milliseconds before calling the animate function. So it is just gonna wait for 5 milliseconds, then call the animate function, which calls the draw function. So each and every 5 milliseconds, the canvas is being all removed, deleted, and then it is going to draw the boxes each and every single time with their new positions, basically. And after all of that, we're just calling the animate function, which is going to just do all the magic, basically. So that was it. I hope the video was helpful anyhow, and I hope you have a good day.